Now, one could also use these bioenergetic integration systems into CrossFit. You would just simply use this concept for the first few sets. Again, doing your prehab, rehab in the beginning, and then reduce the rest and complete the next 13 to 70 sets that you wanted to do. This is very effective. By all means, a great way for people to do various training and basically develop their system as much as possible. Again, these are the results that we've seen. Okay, you basically, now I haven't released this, but this is my base building phase, which will be in a triphasic training manual, triphasic training book in regards to your GPP or repeated sprintability. And then the next one will also, triphasic training 2 will come out, and that's what takes place here, and I'm going to explain to you why all this also happens with this bioenergetic integration. Now, many people ask me, well, Cal, I want to do everything. I don't want to necessarily be just like example a power athlete that would do this every day all the time. So I basically took the 3-day weekly sequencing model, which is out of the Triphasic Tactical Training Manual. This is for special operations soldiers, but we're actually finding that their wives are using the concepts and getting results, basically, which I'll explain here in a second. Various military personnel have decided to use it and gotten some pretty amazing results in regards to the sequencing of how we develop our stressors. So high intensity load is the first day, low volume, which we've kind of already covered, under 10-second day. Then the next thing that we found is that they in the military, many people wanted to do the strength endurance. So essentially you're doing a 20 to 40-second day, and then you're doing lactate conditioning. So let's say with this model you wanted to pick one quality, which I'll get to. Okay, we can actually just do, if you have a very basic training, you can do this type of weekly sequencing model with almost any given modality, exercise modality. Now the next one would be the aerobic training day at the end of the week, and basically it's a continuous training plan. It's lighter weight. It can be done with bodybuildings. It can be done the same program as you did here. You're just going to lighten the weight, increase the reps, but you're going to keep your heartbeat in the aerobic zone between 110 and 160. Over here, your heartbeat may go 180, 190 on these days, but here it's mainly in the weekly sequencing model out of the Triphasic Training Tactical Manual. This is what we prescribe, because many times Special Forces operators have to be good at all these qualities to save their lives. Now, what transpires here is, let's say I have a bike and that's all I have to train. Well, as I told you, the first few reps on the bike may not, maybe we're going to develop speed, maybe some strength, but ultimately it's speed. So we would use less resistance during this phase and pedal as fast as we can for 10 seconds with high quality rests. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add a bunch of resistance on the bike, and we're going to pedal for 10 seconds with 2.5 minutes rest during this phase. Okay, and we're developing that. Then the conditioning comes. We leave the resistance high and pedal for 10 seconds and reduce the conditioning to 45 seconds. So we can develop all these qualities on a bike. Then training day 2 comes with a bike. Strength endurance. We're going to go 20 to 40-second bursts of strength endurance on a bike. Then we're going to do lactate conditioning we're going to just reduce the rest to 45 to 50 seconds, maybe a minute, minute and a half, whatever you choose. Ideally, if you want to do it in 2-minute intervals, you could actually do the lactate conditioning 40 seconds on, a minute 20 off, so it was 2-minute intervals total. And then up here you could go 20 seconds bursts with max resistance. Now this day on the bike, day 3, you're just going to do a continuous bike program. Oops, sorry about that. Continuous bike program for with the heart rate between 110 and 160, and you're going to develop the training, aerobic training concept. And this is just the same modality. So let's say you, let's say you have a sled. You can just do agility drills. You can push this heavy sled, and then you can reduce the rest and do conditioning with the sled. You can do the same thing here. Sled, now you reduce the conditioning or lengthen the duration of the lactate conditioning. So here you're pushing a heavy sled for 20 seconds. Here you're pushing it for 40 with reduced rest, and you're getting maximal rest in here. And then you can just do a continuous push the sled or pull the sled continuously, keeping your heart rate in this zone. Another way that we actually found this way a lot of people like, but this way where we flip these 2 days, we actually find that is better for athletes if you're going to do everything. Now again, we do not recommend this for optimal results. This is just a plan to maintain some level of fitness if you want, of all qualities, but again, as you know, you can't maintain all the qualities at once. So this is just, we're swapping out days. We basically put the lactate day here. This is preferential for athletes because it'll cause a hormonal response, and then this day comes and you actually set yourself up for some pretty amazing success on the under 10-second day, and then at the end of the week you will do that day. Now in the 3-day weekly sequencing model, there's a 5-day, there's a 4-day plan, there's 6-day plans in the Tactical Operator's Manual for triphasic training. So if you're more interested in that, you can always look that up. Now the sequencing model, again, it can be done with any different biking, running, lifting, sled, but you have all those avenues, so you can select any training method to place in that particularly. So with